Hey, welcome to the what?
Countdown show. Oh, what it do? What the business is?
We in here,
back,
baby. We in here.
Oh, we back, baby, and we got a lot to talk about today. I
What we
need
talking about?
y'all to understand that there's a fight brewing that somebody is excited about,
Brewing.
and it's been a long time in the making,
It
and now
has.
all of a sudden it's time to knuckle up.
Hey, you better calm down now. Bruce already got on somebody about that now. You better calm down.
Hey,
Before
Bruce
you get
said,
some
"Hey, buddy."
copyright in this thing, you owe him $5.
Bruce said, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna need you to go on. Either you better say
Hey,
knuckle up faster."
what's 10% of zero?
Hey,
Because that's
I,
how much we making right now. How much you gonna get out of us
hey,
for
hey,
suing us for
if
nothing?
no, I need you to understand. I'm gonna say it again. It's time, right?
Yeah.
Let Bruce sue us. Think about it. I'm paying the 10% of future money because ain't nobody gonna know nothing until we get sued. Who are them guys? Wow, they're funny.
Yeah.
They gonna do that. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of followers. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
thanks,
Yeah.
Bruce. Thanks,
He
Bruce.
gonna put us on the map. Well, all we
I
gotta do is
might.
take this video down.
I'm gonna call him Bruce. I'm gonna call him Bruce. Look, we got a lot to talk about today. UFC 270 right around the corner. It got
Yes,
on
it
us quick.
is.
We went
Yes, it is.
from Lil Wayne the Drought
Yeah.
to card back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And then we got big fights coming up too. Greg Hardy made the headlines. We got the People's Champ fight coming up, and BKFC got a stacked card, so we're gonna talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Well, let's get into it then.
Hey man, let's get into the first part of the show, man.
5
UFC
minutes on the clock.
270, man. UFC 270, man. There's only one real fight I really want to see myself, but there's a couple other fights on the card too. But what we're gonna start off with, Sean?
Oh man, this fight right here, it goes back and forth. First, you're excited about the fight.
Back and forth.
First, you're excited about the fight, right?
Yeah.
You're so excited about the fight. Then you're excited about the fight that there's a lot going on outside the cage in relation to this fight. John Jones still looming. Everything much is on this fight. That's cool.
It is.
Ngannou's fighting out his contract.
Exactly.
Dana don't even like him.
Dana hate him. I ain't never seen Dana hate somebody more than they hate Francis.
And then on top of that, you be like, oh yeah, they about to go out there and slug it out.
They throw them things, but they finna throw them things.
We hope. So when it come down to it, UFC 270, you excited?
I don't know, man. You might want to call out some more of those fights on the card, so we can see exactly if we're excited about it or not. But we'll see what kind of excitement we got once we hear about who else is on the card, though.
Let's see who we got on this thing. UFC 270. We are looking at. Do you want to talk about the main event or work our way up?
Let's talk about the main event real quick. Let's get a little couple minutes in for the main event. First thing I want to say about this main event is I'm excited about it. The big things I'm excited about is because the simple fact that these two opponents know each other a little bit because they've actually sparred with each other. They were training partners in the past, and then all of a sudden now there's a little bit of bad blood between the two. Suragan per se is the best overall fighter in this match, but Francis Ngannou has that off switch that he can turn somebody's lights off just like that. So it's a very intriguing fight. Hopefully it stays standing up because I feel like Francis has an advantage standing up because he has that off switch. But Suragan gets him to the canvas, it's going to be a whole different fight. But if he shows some of the things that he showed in his last championship bout, I feel like Francis Ngannou can keep it from being on the ground, and I feel like he can get it to a point where he can have that half a second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds it takes for him to land that punch right across Suragan's right top of his forehead. So I feel like Francis Ngannou can win this, but I don't know for sure, man, because Suragan is a chess match that is going to be hard for Francis to actually defeat. And he might need a little luck on the side. How you feeling about this championship fight, man?
Meh. I don't know. So you got UFC 270, and I don't know. Do the new prices kick in for this one?
I think so, man. Because we need to have a whole
y'all
segment about that.
Y'all about to drop a dub off of that thing, boy. Look,
Yeah.
hey, but for real, if they charging more, let's have a serious moment right here. If they charging more, and I go to the main event, not main event, but the main card, I should not be reading this for them charging me more money for a UFC pay-per-view event, right?
Yeah.
All right. Bantamweight bout, Cody Stamann versus Said Nurmagomedov. Good fight. Y'all charging me $80. Greg Hardy versus Alexei Olenek.
That's been scratched.
That's been scratched. So that's not even on the main card. Then you got Andre, it's like Faio, and then Michelle Pereira. Yeah, okay, cool. Y'all still charge me $80, right?
Yeah.
Right? Then you got Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno 3. It's like, all right, cool. Y'all still charging me $80. Y'all this is what. So Little Caesar said we going up on the price of the pizza, $5.55. What did they do? They immediately gave you 33% more pepperoni, whatever the hell that means.
Okay.
So if the UFC, we going up on the prices. The first thing they should have did was drop nothing but hot fire.
Hot fire. The first
card
270 should have been hot fire. It should have been 5 fights of hot fire.
Should have been hot fire. Listen,
gas.
This fight here.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It all depends on the weight cut from Davison Figueiredo.
True. I feel like Moreno has his number, though, because I feel like he's Figueiredo out. So I feel like Moreno has his number. I feel like it's going to be a fight just like it was the last one. But for the most part, this is a 2-fight main card for $80.
80 bones. It's like $74.99. But y'all pay taxes. 80 bones. And then you got the main event, Francis Ngannou. They drew good pictures.
Man, I don't know who could do better pictures than we did right here, man. Whoever took the photos and all of a sudden put them together just like this makes it look very intriguing to the outside lookers looking in. I don't feel like this is a main card or that can get the new timers, the new fans to come in and look at this fight, because $80 is a lot, and that's what you get when you partner with ESPN though, because they about that money. That's what they got to do. They about that money.
I didn't have no control over it. They did it. Dana walked in the office. ESPN dude said, "Hey man, we're going up on prices." Dana said, "Bet," and walked right out the room. That's what happened. That's what he said. I could make more money. Bet. Yeah. Holla at the player when you see him on the street.
Hopefully though, this $5 increase also increases the amount of fighter pay too as well, because I feel like we can get some better fights if the fighters are getting paid a little bit more as well. And I'm not talking about the top tier. I'm talking about middle tier, bottom tier. Top tier already getting a good amount of money as of right now. I wouldn't say great money, but it's good money. I ain't say it's boxing money, but it's good money. But the middle tier and that bottom tier, you can only get a certain amount of money for fighting when you first get into the UFC. So maybe this is giving an opportunity for those individuals who are first getting into the UFC to actually get some kind of money so they can actually continue training throughout the whole year, as well as keep their bodies intact so they can go from one fight to the next. But from your facial expressions, I'm thinking that's a no.
First off, ain't nobody worried about fighter pay. Otherwise, somebody would have fixed it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, but we're not going to fix it. Nobody going to fix it. That's fine.
So
I'm
UFC
just saying, if the price of it go up, all I need you to be is more selective of the cards that you put together for these events. You need to stack. If they say we going up by $5, but you remember back in the days of UFC 100 where the whole card from top to bottom was like stacked. We're going to try and do that again. Give them the $5. Give them the $5. Give them the $5. I'm good. But they're like, hey, the proceeds is going to fighter pay.
Can
we even believe that?
No, I can't believe that.
I don't believe that so much. I'm going on to round number 2.
So, hey, before we get to pull out game strong, hey, Sean, I got to ask you a quick question about UFC 270. and the pay increase. Do you think they need to do tiers depending on the fights that are happening, or you think that'd be a different discussion for a different day?
That's a different. You wanna talk about that at the overtime? We can move over to overtime once we get done. That's a whole different discussion. See, here's the thing: what happens when you get to tiers? You start to put even more quality numbers on fighters. So someone
that's what you need to, so you can get paid.
Yeah, but then it's subjective. Like we know Conor bring it. We know John Jones is second.
So it'd be tier 1. So it'd be $100 call.
Right. But then how do you make it to tier 1? How do you make it to tier 2? It's all subjective by who likes who. You see what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Let's hit this, and we'll come back overtime once the show's over.
Who you got Moreno? Who you got Moreno Figueiredo 2? Figueiredo 3. Who you got Cyril Gane versus Francis Ngannou?
I always like a fighter who bets on himself.
So Cyril Gane it is, then, I guess.
Wait, what?
I almost got you.
What just happened?
I almost got you.
You good.
Hey, so you got Francis Ngannou and Brandon Moreno, and the two fights of the main card for $5 extra. Before we get into the next part of the show, Pull Out Game Strong. Stunners and Happy, get like us, habits365.com/trash talk BS if you want that apparel. Hey, if you want your logo in the bottom right corner, all you gotta do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. Pull Out Game Strong, man. As you are aware, we went over the fight card for UFC 270, and there was a fight that was in the main card but now isn't in the main card. And we're not here to discuss exactly why he's not in the main card right now. The reason is he had an injury to his finger. It was to his finger. It was a gruesome injury to his finger. But that's not the reason why we put him on the top 5 right here. Man, put 5 minutes on the clock, man, because I got to talk about what the heck he said in an interview. This guy right here, man, I'm going to tell you right now, Greg Hart has already been in the news for some of the things he's done in his past, which is crazy. And the reason why I say it's crazy is because some of the things he did towards females is just outright disrespectful. And Dana White gave him an opportunity. To come into the UFC and, you know what I'm saying, get his name back. Pretty much put his face back on the map and put it more in a positive light and give him a platform where he can actually change his outcome of his life and make his life more positive. Now, that being said, he did lose his last fight against Tua Tuivasa, and he lost it to Avasa, and he lost it in dramatic fashion. It's one of those things where he did something, he did the right thing. He caught Tua, and Tua bounced back, and then Tua caught him, and then he didn't bounce back. That's all fair and good. It's in war, you know what I'm saying? The punches lay where they land, and then all of a sudden the better man comes out victorious. Yep. That being said, This guy goes on an interview, and he says the punch that Tua hit him with was a lucky punch. Now, you're already in the news on a negative light. Why are you going to stir the pot up? I don't understand this guy, man. You're already changing your name from what it was in the past because you did some dumb things, made some dumb decisions, and now you're trying to get up on more positive light, and you just sitting over here trying to bash somebody for beating you. If you win, you can talk. If you don't win, you can't say nothing. Also, if you're not fighting because you're pulling out because of an injury, don't bring up something else in the past. I'm just saying.
Listen. And then he had the audacity to be like, Tai Tuivasa ain't got no chin.
Yeah. Let me read the exact words that he said.
Yeah.
He said, you won, take your win. Don't hype it up like you came in and killed me because you got exposed a little bit. He's got a weak chin.
And he threw them wild punches, and one of them hit my chin. Well, why your chin ain't hold up?
Exactly.
What happened to your chin?
I don't get it.
What I don't get about the whole situation, in a sense, though, is you know what? I understand what he's trying to do. I 100% understand what he's trying to do. Listen, he's like, I'm going to lean hard into this heel that I'm playing. I'm going to be the heel. Everybody think I'm the bad guy, might as well act like the bad guy, right? The only problem with that is, like, we love to hate Floyd Mayweather. People do. Okay, I'm going to say this out loud, but just know it was that way, and then it kind of got worse. We love to hate Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Right? We love to hate Kurt Angle. All these guys. You know, but people just hate Greg Hardy. That's it. There's
a lot more haters than there are lovers.
Yeah. So, like, you don't have to lean into that heel role. We don't need you to be like, oh, I'm reformed and, you know, I pray to fake Jesus like John Jones do. But I didn't mean to say that out. I'm sorry. It's a real Jesus. It's a real Jesus. It's just a fake prayer or whatever he be doing. But no, so, like, I get it, man. Lean into it. But don't say dumb shit like, man, I know I got my ass whooped, but it wasn't as bad as y'all saw it on TV. Yeah.
It was a first round finish.
Well, it was second, wasn't it? No. Did they make it out the first?
I think
it don't even matter. His shoulders was slumped. Like what?
Yes.
Like what? It don't make no sense.
His brain touched his skull. He laid there for a second, woke up, and the cameraman got that shot that he gets on every individual.
Wow.
What happened?
Man, that cameraman be on it, bro. I swear to God. They be like, open the case so the cameraman can get in and see it. But look, even past that, what he say? Like, I'm doing this and I put it on. I'm paving the way for the fighters. Ain't that what he said?
Something like that, man. Something like that.
Like, I'm putting this on. I'm paving the way. I'm showing these fighters on what to do. He ain't done nothing. I hate when people say that. That's worse than whenever GSP&N was sitting out there for the MMA people when they came out and was like, we forming a group organization for fighters. No, you ain't done nothing. You ain't done nothing. Don't sit there and lie and say you did. Greg Hardy, you excited? He fighting out his contract too. You excited for Greg Hardy return?
The one thing I'm excited about is, and the best thing that came out of this interview is I feel like Greg Hardy said in the interview, he said, if Dana White brings me back, that would be great. But if he doesn't, he thanks Dana White for everything he did for him. He gave him an opportunity to not only make some money, but also show some of the skills that he's been training in the off season, corresponding with football, because the MMA is one of those things that he likes to do. So I understand from that perspective. Greg Hardy is a smart dude. He knows what he's saying, but it's just one of those things where you made a mistake. You own up to the mistake.
Yeah.
But in the same reference of making a mistake, don't bash somebody else because they beat you. And when someone beats you, they can say pretty much whatever they want to say because they got that trump card on you. They beat you. That's simple as that.
Just simple as that. Let's get on.
Now, if he would have won, Greg Hardy would have won, I would have loved to see Greg Hardy against the Black Beast. But he didn't. So this is what we get. We get a transcript of him saying how he lost. He owns up to the loss, but Tua hit him with a lucky punch.
I got one more question before we move on to the next subject. I promise. The question is as such: if Greg Hardy fights out his contract and does not come back, does he then disappear? What does he do outside of the UFC that anyone wants to watch? Like, if he was the Bellator main card, are we tuning in?
No.
If he's in the ONE FC, are we tuning in?
No, only reason why we tune in because he's in the UFC and people hate him. Yeah. And it's on the biggest platform. It's on ESPN. If it's tough. I feel like he just floats out into the sunset. Actually, you can't call it sunset. You probably call it a thunderstorm. But it is what it is.
Be like that. Next.
Hey, man, before we get into the next topic, man, the People's Champ. Something I'm very excited about. We got to talk about what's in the bottom right corner, man. Stuns a habit. Get like us, habits365.com/trash talk BS. If you want that apparel, if you want your logo in the bottom right corner, all you got to do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. The People's Champ, man. I'm excited about this right here, dog. You know what it is. Hey, man, look. Covington versus Jorge Masvidal is going down.
Meet me in the trap.
It's going down.
Meet me at the mall.
It's
It's going down.
down.
Look, see, first and foremost, let me go on and get right into it because I know you excited. I know you
I'm
excited
excited,
because
man.
we keep getting into this. We understood what we got when Conor McGregor did his thing.
Yeah.
Right? We understood what we were getting when John Jones was up that line about all the stuff he was doing, and then when the cameras got off, he was like, "Hey, you still there, pussy?" You know what I mean? We got all of this stuff here. But then you take Colby Covington and you take Jorge Masvidal, and there's one example that's gonna contradict my my thought process here. But the only reason why I'm not so excited about this is, you know, former teammates used to train, bad blood, all this, that, and the other, right? Why ain't it on site? You know,
I thought it was on site.
It is. Where the on site at? You telling me that of all this stuff, the UFC ain't booking tickets together, all this, that, and the other? Because I'm like, these got to be the most two on site dudes you ever met in your life. But I ain't seen nothing on site. I ain't seen no pushing. I ain't seen no security guards had to get in between. I ain't seen none of that. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be like super excited because this is Street Jesus versus the People's Champ. And they both don't take no shit from nobody. Right? And it's supposed to be on site. But I don't never see no on site. Hell, Nate Diaz is on site with entry level pro fighters. All I needed was that.
That shit was hilarious. Bro. He dropped all that.
But you see what I mean though? Because I'm like, because I can't call Jorge Masvidal not an on site kind of guy. Because he punched 3-piece in the soda.
He punched the old boy.
I'm not gonna not call him that. But for the most on site rivalry you have ever seen outside of, I don't even know who. Like, I feel like the blood is so bad in this. In the on-siteness, there was nothing. There's no scuffle. There's nothing. Just Twitter beef.
Well, here's what I think is. Here's what I think happened though. Colby Covington, we understand and are aware that he's playing. He's acting. Yeah. His whole demeanor, his whole character is an act.
Right.
And he's playing it towards the crowd so that he can make more money. We understand that.
Okay.
Jorge understands that as well too. So I also understand that when Kobe's playing this act, it's one of those things where he's all about the money. So if it's on site, then he ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying?
It don't matter.
So no, I'm just saying though, Jorge is one of those individuals that if he sees you, I feel like he's gonna give you a 3-piece and a soda. I don't feel like he's seen Kobe. I feel like Jorge has said out loud, he said, if Kobe wants some, he can get some anytime. Okay. Kobe left the gym. Kobe didn't train with them anymore. Kobe left pretty much the state and trained somewhere else. They don't even see each other like they used to see each other.
Right, so that's all different circumstances.
I feel like Kobe's put himself in a position where he doesn't give Jorge the opportunity of on site. That's what I'm just saying in this predicament.
Yes, but this is the most on site kind of rivalry beef that you ever seen in your life. So listen to me when I tell you this. If it's on site with an MF, with a muff, you know what I mean? And he say some shit like, hey, bruh, if it's on site anytime I see, you know the first thing I'm going to do? Hey, buddy. What's
on
up,
site,
man? I'm on site. Let's see it. And I'm waiting for him to be like, hey, man, you know I make all this money, man. Let's do it in the cave. Okay, I thought you said
not hear what he
site.
said? Do you not hear what he said to Marty Newsman?
I understand that. Which even then,
it's about money, dog.
It don't matter. Chael Sonnen said it first and foremost. You don't let him behind the curtain. He let us behind the curtain, and that's why I can't get into this no more.
I'm into it, dog. I'm into it.
What exactly are you into with
this
fight? I'm sorry to take the whole 5 minutes. We can put another 5 on the clock.
Nah, you ain't got to take. We're gonna talk about this again because it's later on. I'm into the backstory. I'm into the bad blood. I'm into two friends that have pictures together with them to celebrate it to the point where now they don't even want to look at each other. That's what I'm into. I'm into the story because the UFC does not have many fights where it has a story. And those fights that have a story and have a build-up have something to sell. And I feel like this fight has something to sell. And it's one of those fights where you'll pay, or I would pay the $80 to watch, because I want to watch it because of what's happened in the past to what's happening now. This fight has been built up for the last 3 years to be what it is now, and we're finally getting to see it. Kobe's coming off the loss. Jorge's coming off a loss. So it's just one of those fights where you don't even look at the record. You don't even count the losses. You don't even care about who they fought in the past. All you care about is right now, these two individuals are fighting each other. And I understand from your point of view, being an MMA fighter, being someone who's been in the cage, been someone who does not relatively talk shit outside of the cage to their opponents. But it's one of those things where when they get in there and you close the cage, it's on site, it's time to fight.
No.
Being a spectator from the outside looking in, I love this. And I love this because of that.
Right. So basically, we are getting what's his name? Muhammad Ali.
I don't care.
That's what we're getting. We're getting Muhammad Ali. To where Muhammad Ali knew I ain't, you know, I get it's a different time, different era, but he ain't out here Mike Tyson and fools, right? So the hands ain't got to speak for him. He know it might be a long fight, so he got to speak good, look pretty, and look good, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what this is. Think about it like this, though. You tell me all of this, and when the fight gets put together, you didn't once say that I want to see this in the fight. Tell me this. Who wins this fight? It's only one answer.
You're going to say Kobe. I feel like Jorge knocks him out.
Kobe Covington.
I feel like Jorge knocks him out, man.
And Jorge Masvidal is not a pushover at all. Jiu-jitsu game, tight. He's got a blitz game, tight. Hands, tight. Everything is super good. But Kobe Covington is going to go out there and do what Kobe Covington does. And we all excited. I feel like, what's the line on this? Like, what's the line on this? Is it a 50-50 fight? Like, you, I don't know if I take Jorge Masvidal in this fight if you give me 3-1. Nah, I'm going to take that. 2.5.
I'm taking Jorge. I'm taking Jorge.
And I love Masvidal. What the lie? I love Masvidal, and I love him in the fun fights. I love the BMF belt. I love the 3-piece in the soul. I love everything about it. But listen to me when I tell you this. I love Derek Lewis too. He ain't beating Cyril Gahn. I don't think that's happening.
He didn't beat Cyril Gahn. He might.
I don't see Jorge Masvidal beating Kobe Covington. I don't see him beating Kamaru Usman. I see him in the fun fights, and I see there's a lot of people that you don't think he gonna win that he gonna win against. But if it's Kobe Covington and Kobe Covington show up to do what Kobe Covington does, outside of a Greg Hardy punch, a lucky strike, I don't see the path to success.
I see it.
Now, ATT may know something we don't know.
I know something you don't know.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna watch it.
Or he's gonna win this fight, man. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later.
We'll talk about it later.
Later, because this fight doesn't happen until I think March. So we got some time before it happens, though. But I'm very excited about it, man. But let's get into the next part of the show, man. Before we get into the next part of the show, we gotta talk about what's in the bottom right corner. We're gonna change it up one day, but we ain't gonna change it up today. Starting is a habit. Get like us. Habits365.com/trash talk BS for that apparel. Get 10% off. And you want your logo in the bottom right corner? All you gotta do is hit us up at
My feet smell like butt at gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made, man. BKFC has Knucklemania 2 coming up. Knucklemania 1 put some people on the map and allowed us to get into what is now BKFC and now is on the map. But there's something that we need to talk about because there's some heavy hitters on this card, and they finally, as you see in the title, put together a BKFC 125 title bout between Hart and I think her last name is Pereira, if I'm correct. But
it depends. It might be Fajeda.
Hart versus Fajeda. This fight happened I think in 2019 as in Fajeda won off of a second round stoppage. The doctor stopped the fight. So Fajeda won that fight against Bret Hart. So now this fight next is with the title on the line. I feel like Taylor Starling should have got a piece of the pie, but it's still an opportunity for this year.
Why is she not on this card?
I don't understand why she ain't on this card either, but it's an opportunity for her to get a piece of this pie later on this year. So whoever gets announced the winner or whoever wins this fight right here could possibly face Taylor Starr later on this year. But who knows? We'll see. I want you, Sean, to talk about this card, man, because we got Mike Perry, we got Chad Mendez. We know a little bit about both of them. Now they're taking the gloves off and fighting bare knuckle. How do you feel about this card right here?
Okay, I got number one. Let me say this is BKFC. So who cares? If it ain't the BKFC 125 division, do it really matter?
Not really, man. But you got two UFC fighters in
there. I understand what you telling me, but if you ain't telling me that they ain't sat down in the office and looked at that division and was like, damn, we got something here. Everybody want to see this. Everybody want to see Jenny Savage. Everybody want to see Britton Hart. Everybody want to wonder why Taylor Starling didn't get the title fight. Everybody want to wonder why she ain't even on the card. How she ain't on the card for this so that they could get a little, call out going. I don't know. Yeah. But you turn around and you look at the rest of them, you go, nah, I can get with that. Mike Perry, Julian Lane, I'm with that. Mike Perry makes a very good case for you to forget all the dumb stuff that he done and you want to watch it.
Mike Perry crazy.
He real good at that. Troy Palomino, I'm always in. If you ain't never seen the Troy Palomino versus Justin Gaethje fight, you gotta go back and watch it. If that man's capable of doing that, I'm here all day, right? Then you got Chad Money Mendez. He's back. Yeah, cool. I almost feel like this is going to be a what's her name?
Knucklemania 1.
What's her name?
Paige Van Zandt?
Paige Van Zandt kind of thing, where he's like, man, I thought it was going to be like this, but then it was like this, and it ain't nothing like what I thought it was going to be. But then again, I think they could still be in the same circle, Team Alpha Male. So, maybe. I don't know. But you got Britton Hart versus, I think it's Fahea. We'll get it right by the next show. But listen, you got this fight. You're going to get a title fight. We all think Britton Hart's going to win. But now you're in a situation, if you're the BKFC, you're in a Seth Petrozelli versus Kimbo Slice situation where you kind of need Britton Hart to win.
Yes, because she's the name right now.
Because she's the name right now. You need that name to continue as much as you can so that if it either everybody gets built up, rising tide raises the ships. You know, if you had Britton Hart versus Taylor Starling for this title fight, it didn't matter who won. Mm-hmm. You know? Now, we can be excited if Britton Hart loses because Taylor Starling's going to get a title shot next. But I feel like it ain't going to be the same. Now, if Britton Hart's the champ and you get Taylor Starling coming in to challenge for it.
That's a money fight.
That's a money fight. But you got to get past this first. In a fight that Britton Hart lost, Dr. Stoppage is still an L.
Yeah.
I go back and watch the fight, see what happened. But, man, why? I would every 125 fight, especially a title fight, I'd have stacked it. I'd have had Jenny Savage on the card all day.
Yeah.
I'd have had Taylor Starling on the card all day. I'd have had this main fight all day. Maybe if they announce the undercard, it'd be something to see, you know. But that's the way to go. I wish Chad Mendez the best, but if Chad Mendez goes out and wins this fight, are you gonna be like, man, I need to see another Chad Mendez BKFC fight?
Nah, not really, man, because Chad Mendez faded out in the UFC.
Yeah. You know, you look at Mike Perry. Mike Perry go out there and do some crazy shit. You're gonna want to see it again. All right, bet. I'm in there. We're in there. That's fine. That's cool. You know, it ain't exactly an easy fight against Julian Lane, but, you know, Mike Perry should be the favorite in that fight. Should be the favorite in that fight.
I feel like this card is a money card right here because
they might charge $5 extra.
No, I ain't even talking money card. I'm talking about betting wise.
I know.
I feel like if you bet on the bare knuckle individuals who've actually fought bare knuckle before, I feel like you can win some money because I feel like those who have not fought are going to be pushed as the favorites. And then they're going to be surprised by what happened inside the ring itself. And I feel like we can make a lot of money if we bet on those who've actually fought in bare knuckle before. Because I feel like experience puts you in a better place when it comes down to bare knuckle fighting.
You know what he should have said in the intro so he didn't get sued? He should have been like, "Hey, we about to knuckle up, Buttercup." That'd have been dope.
Sounds stupid as hell.
First off, don't disrespect me because you've got Let's Get Ready to Rumble and you got It's Time. You know what else? There ain't nothing else in the entire English dictionary that can come close to those two.
No.
When they figured out them words and then copyrighted it, there ain't nothing that. So you say whatever you want. It's time to knuckle up, Buttercup.
Buckle.
You know what? Ain't nobody asked you. All right, here we go. Let's talk about this. Mike Perry versus Julian Lane. Who you got?
Lane.
That's surprising. I got
Lane. I got Lane because I feel like I got Lane.
All right. Co-main event flyweight championship. Bret Hart versus Fahea.
I got Hart though. I got Hart because I got Hart
because we need her to win.
Yeah, I need her to win. I need her to win because I feel like it's going to be a big money fight between her and Taylor Starling. I feel like what's really going to happen is Hart wins, and then Taylor Starling gets another match this year. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the year or mid-year, we finally see Taylor Starling versus Bret Hart, and I feel like that's a $100,000 fight right there.
Oh, if Bret Hart wins, there's no way they're going to take the chance of Taylor Starling fighting another fight and coming up short. There's no way they take that chance.
BKFC took this chance, so I feel like they're going to take that chance.
You ain't saying nothing but a word. Chad Mendez versus Five Mans. Who you got?
I got Five Mans, man. If you want to make some money on this card right here, I'll go against those. I bet on the ones. I'll bet the underdogs, man. I would really bet the underdogs because I feel like Mendez will come in maybe a little bit slower, trying to feel his way through the process. Might get caught, or he might take it to decision and probably lose the first 3 rounds because he's waiting to see exactly what this all bare knuckle is all about. Just like Paige Van Zandt did, she thought that hugging and fighting between the hugs or punching between the hugs that she was doing was going to win in the fight. Pressure. No, knuckles to the face wins the fight.
Time to knuckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
See?
Oh boy, you gonna wear that out, ain't you?
See, I'm just saying. Look, hey, in other news, what we got in other news coming up?
In other news, the 49ers just won their playoff game today, baby.
We going to tell them nothing, and they beat the Cowboys.
We beat them Cowboys, hey man. Fuck them Cowboys. We them boys that got that ass whooped. That's what that is. But look though, going to the divisional round, we got the Green Bay Packers up next. Hopefully we can get that dub too, so we can go to the conference finals and then get that dub and then be in the Super Bowl, and we can get that dub too, so we can get that dub all the way around. But who knows? We'll see what happens in the future. But right now we going towards the future with a dub. Also on the list, I'm 13-0 in my basketball league right now. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. 13 weeks in, 13-0. That's what I'm saying about that situation, man. That's some good news out there for me. Good news for me, man. What you got, Sean?
Hey, look, let's go a little bit of overtime. Trash talk with Bobby and Sean. Overtime. Let's expound on some of the things that we talked about during the show that we didn't get a chance to kind of get to because we got our 5-minute limit, which we try to stick to.
We don't.
$74.99 for the pay-per-views now. Okay.
Expensive as fuck.
I'm gonna read you this out. Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane, Brandon Moreno, Davison Figueiredo, Michelle Pereira, Andre Fio, I think, Greg Hardy, Alexei Olenek. Just say it's happening.
Scratched.
Just say it's happening. Cody Stamann versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. Is that worth $74?
No, to me it's not. To me it's not even worth the money it was for.
Even with the main event.
Oh.
All right. UFC 271. Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. Bobby Knuckles. He doesn't like that name, but it's okay. Kyler Phillips versus Marcelo Rojo.
Who?
That's the co-main event. Alex Perez versus Matthew Schnell.
Who?
I think it's Vink Pichel versus Mark Madsen.
Who?
Roxanne Modafferi versus Casey O'Neill.
Who?
Is that worth $74?
Man, I'm not going to disrespect the fighters that are on the main card right there, but if you got to turn your head or look them up to see exactly who they are and who they fought and understand by just the face that you know who the fighter is, not by just the name itself, then it's not worth $75 in my book, man. I don't feel like we should be paying a lot more money for fighters that you don't necessarily know off the top. You know what I'm saying? So if you say Conor McGregor, boom, well, I know what he looks like. I know who he fought in the past. I would pay money to see Conor fight. But you're putting all your money on the line for Adesanya. That's basically what you're doing.
Okay. One more that we got announced, and then I got one more question for you once I get done with this. All right, it's only 2 fights announced, but it's okay. UFC 272. The question is it worth $74? Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal.
Yes.
Jessica I versus Manon Fawat. I'm not sure. Is that worth $74?
Right now, because of the beef, I would say yes, but they're going to have to build something on top of that, man, because you can't just build that off of just Jorge and Colby Covington.
Right. So what I'm saying, though, is this is 100% no disrespect to the fighters on the card. We're simply talking about the money that they're asking us to spend to pay for this card and what we are getting for this extra amount that we now have to pay. Because not even, 2 weeks ago, before the announcement was made, it was $5 cheaper or $7. I don't know how much it went up. But now you're giving me this, and then you're telling me that it costs more. All right? Case in point, I understand that hindsight is 20/20. We didn't know that at the time, but listen to this. The question is, would you pay $80? All right. Main event, John Fitch versus Paulo Thiago. Co-main, Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir. Welterweight bout, GSP versus Thiago Alves. Middleweight bout, Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping. Middleweight bout, Akiyama versus Alan Belcher. That's the main card. Prelims, Mark Coleman versus Stephen Barner. Jim Miller versus Mac Danzig. John Jones versus Jake O'Brien.
In the prelims?
In the prelims. Daniel Kim versus TJ Grant. Ruthless Tom Lawler versus CB Dollaway. Bro.
Knowing what I know now, yes, I would pay that. And you understand, not only are they going up on pay-per-view, but they also going up on ESPN Plus as well.
Oh, didn't know that.
So the prelims itself will cost more too. So not only are you paying more for the main card, which is on pay-per-view, but you're also paying more for the prelims too as well. So just naming that out, I will also spend the money on the ESPN Plus, which is like $5.99, which I think is going up to $7.99 per month. Don't quote me on that because I don't need nobody writing in the comment section telling me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just said don't quote me on that. But you're also paying a little bit extra, not only for the pay-per-view, but also for the prelims. And by knowing what I know now, knowing some of the individuals that you just spoke of in that card right there, and knowing their career now from what it was in that retrospect, I would pay $80 for that main card and the extra money for that prelim as well. So if the UFC can bring some of that right there to 2022, then I can see why people would pay $80 for a main card like that.
Now, think about it like this, though. Now, I'm not mad at all. But think about this whole aspect right here. All right, you got John Fitch fighting, Brock Lesnar fight, GSP fight. But once you get down to the lower parts, it goes, these are the people that we're building, and we're giving them the platform of this event that we're charging you extra on top of the extra that we charge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we end up with like John Jones on the prelims, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's fast forward all the way to the fights that we have, today. And I want, like, what are we building? What are we trying to put together? Like, what's the story? What are we trying to do? You have your prelim cards, you have all this, and I understand that they just need to have so many shows. There was less shows back then, but we need to reserve these cards that we're going to charge us extra for, right? You're charging us extra. Reserve this for, like, bruh, main card, all this prelims, the people's main event on the prelims, you got Sean O'Malley. This fight happened now. I might be a little more into it. You know, you got all these guys, Paddy Pimblett versus Gatekeeper now. What's his name? Donald Cerrone. That's up here. You know, you've got all this, put all of that into one, and then be like $80. And I'm like, okay, cool. I got a lot of storylines.
I can see that.
I got a lot of storylines that I can look at, you know?
That brings me to another question on your end too. And I brought this up a little bit earlier in the Charles Talk Countdown show before we got into overtime. Do you feel like there should be a tier, like tier 1, tier 2 kind of payment?
No.
But they do it. But the reason why I ask that is because they do it in boxing. So like you pay more for a Mayweather fight than you do for a let's just say you pay more for a Mayweather and a Tyson Fury fight than you pay for a middle of the road fight. Somebody who has maybe 20-0 but hasn't got the credentials of a top tier boxing, but they still got a championship. So you might pay $69.99 for that pay per view compared to a $99.99 pay per view for a Mayweather fight.
I would not do that. Now, in looking at this, at the beginning of 2020, the prices were raised also, just to put that out there.
Yeah, they've been raised for the last 3 years.
What I wanted to say, it was tiered since then too. I was going to say like a McGregor fight costed more, but I'm not exactly sure, so I'm not going to quote unquote on it. So, but when you say a tier type thing, that means you didn't have to figure out, like, are you judging it by the main event? Are you judging it by the card as a whole? Are you like what's the judge as to why this pay-per-view is going to cost me $39, this pay-per-view $59, and this pay-per-view $79, you know?
Well, let me talk about some of the cards we just announced. So I would think like a Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington fight will be like a tier 2, tier 3 fight. The reason why I said that is both individuals coming off a loss.
Okay.
They're not actually fighting for the opportunity to be the next one for the championship per se, because both of them lost to the champion in their previous fights. So I would think that they're one fight away from being announced a championship fight.
Okay. All right. So
that's
my question to you.
If the next opponent is like the number 1 and number 2 or whatever.
Okay. My question to you is whether the card gets stacked out or not. We call that tier 2.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. All right. And it's no title fight. Okay. But you're telling me that you're going to put Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker as a tier 2 pay-per-view event?
I would say it'd be a tier 1 because it's a championship.
Right, but we said we didn't want to watch this card because we read the rest of the card off.
I know, but tiers per se, you have to have some kind of meaning behind it. Yeah. You could say it's a championship fight. Actually, let's put it like this: tier 1, tier 2. I feel like the Cyril Gane and Moreno versus Figueiredo should be a tier 1 because you got 2 championship fights on the card itself. I feel like if you have 1 championship fight on the card, then it should be a tier 2. If you don't have any championship fights on the card, it should be a tier 3, and it should go from $74.99, $64.99 to $54.99. That's just I just throwing out there because
you know what they would do with that, right?
What do they do?
They're gonna make more pay-per-view events to charge more. Instead of fight nights, they're gonna start making them pay-per-view events.
They need to do something because
so I don't know.
You paying $75 for a fight card that you might not know 2-3 other fights. So you sitting there watching like, hey, I hope they do well so I can understand who this fighter is, so I can be like, wow, to the point where I go online and actually do my research to see exactly who he is and what they did and this, that, and the other. Yeah. So you're hoping for excitement, but you know when you get let's just say Francis Ngannou fight, you know it's going to be some fireworks.
You know what's at stake too.
You know what's at stake.
Yeah.
And you know when you get a Conor McGregor, you know you're going to get fireworks. Even if he loses, you're going to get fireworks. He going to do or say something that's going to make you more intrigued to watch him the next time.
I'll tell you what. Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa. What tier is that?
I feel like In my heart, it's a tier 1.
See, it's hard though.
But
that's
no, it's
tier
not hard.
3 fight.
That's a tier 3 fight. In my heart, it's a tier 1. In retrospect, it's a tier 3 fight because it's two fighters not fighting for the opportunity to be the next champion. They're one fight or two fights away from being issued an opportunity to be a champion. So I feel like that's a tier 3. So if I can make rules for tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 fight, the opportunity for the UFC is they have an opportunity to make some of these fight nights into pay-per-views, but it'll be on a lower level, and then they can advertise it as a fight night perspective.
Yeah, and then that would then have to tell they would have to tell us that their product, some of their product isn't as good as others, and I don't think they're gonna admit that. You got anything else for us tonight?
Man, I ain't got nothing else tonight, man. I feel like there was a good overtime right there, man. We gotta put a little transition screen where you got overtime just flips up and around on the screen itself whenever we get to it, baby. But I feel like that's a good topic subject that we got into, that we had an opportunity to get into for tonight's show, man. But I ain't got nothing else for the show, man.
Hey, look, it's been real.
Man, it's always real, man.
It's been good.
It's been good tonight, man.
But it ain't been real good.
Never that.
Look, we're going to come back next time. We can't stay so long.
I'll holler.
Peace.